Gamers and non-gamers, welcome back to the Noclip Crewcast. This is episode 258. This is the last current affairs podcast you'll be listening to from this crew, assuming nothing changes from now until the end of the year. Danny O'Dwyer is still on vacation with his family. If you were following him on Blue Sky, I'm going to blow up his spot. He's currently in Paris. He's after Expedition 33 won Game of the Year and Game of the Everything at the Keeleys. He decided to go visit them. That's a joke. I don't know what he's doing there. I assume just vacation. I hope he's having a good time, though, eating baguettes, smoking long cigarettes, and wearing a beret. You know who else likes smoking long cigarettes? Jeremy Jane.
I quit smoking a long time ago. Right when we filmed the Witcher documentary, I quit smoking when we went to Poland, which is a terrible idea.
That's like the cigarette capital of the world. It's like number 3 at least.
It was directly shoved in my face how many cigarettes I could have been smoking on that trip.
Well, good for you though. That's like 6 years smoke free.
Yeah, I don't even think now I smell a cigarette. I'm like, that smells disgusting to me. So
that's awesome.
I'm free.
Good for you, man.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Frank Halley, you like blasting cigs.
I mean, I like it in media because it incites the person is like cool, doesn't care about their health, they're dangerous. So like as a symbolic gesture, cigarettes is cool. But no, I've never ingested tobacco.
Smoking's not cool. Smoking's not cool. Yeah, I'm with you on the knowingly. I've never smoked a cigarette on purpose, but I was asleep at a friend's house one time. They were like, "We're gonna play Gears of War downstairs," and I'm like, "Cool, man." I fell asleep on the bed, and I wake up with a cigarette in my nose. They put it in my. That was their prank. That was their prank to wake me up.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. What the fuck? I didn't go to their house ever again.
You guys have never smoked like a blunt?
I've had it. No, I mean, no.
Okay, I was just gonna say
I have jazz cigarettes, but not big nicotine or whatever, big tobacco. I mean, but I take their if they sponsor, go for them.
Yeah, listen, Philip Morris, if you're out there and you're looking for like a podcast, we'll smoke the whole 2 hours. We'll just chain smoke like a right-wing podcaster.
Depends on how much money. I got a limit on that. But you know who's not included in our Battle Pass holders list? Philip Morris. You know who is in that
so
list?
Funny if that was the first name, last name of one of the Battle Pass holders.
Wait a second. Philip Morris? No, yeah. But you know who does support us? This great list of people, including everybody else at patreon.com/noclip. They support all the great work that we do. They allowed us to go on vacation sometimes and for us to enjoy the holiday season recording great podcasts for you. And that list of the tippy top Battle Pass holders includes Lil Toast, Corey, Lovepreet, Yut, like butt, Tiny Tal, Dwayne the Rock Lobster, Anthony Thomas, Nico Passeteri, It's a me, Ferrario. Oh, doing so many Italian accents today. Senator Armstrong, Redredge, Harry Flanagan, Juice, Arno, Matt Pearson, James Brown, Mark Rojas, Quote, Tucker Morgan, David McGarry, Goddison, Sven Hooster, Pez, John Akers, Int Nate, Tim Robinson, Forrest Pruitt, Dark Insanities, Jonathan Kremen, Eric Hamilton Schneider, Christoph Fetui, Enox, Grizzly Mug, Cameron Ladd.
I like
Zachary.
that one.
I dragged that out. Dragged it all the way to the barn house, took it outside. Zachary Snader, Alex Goucher, George Zirkotis, Jacob Godserve, Enthea Jen, James Med, Tohir Tiliev, and Rice in. Rice in what? Rice in my pocket. That's how I'd be paying for stuff, you know? That's how I'd be paying for stuff with rice that they'd be putting in my pocket. Thank you so much to all of our no-clip patrons at the Battle Pass holder tier. You are the best, along with everyone else who supports all the work that we do. We are at the end of the year here. I'm so thankful to everyone who supports NoClip at patreon.com/NoClip and patreon.com/NoClip2. It's been a fun year, first couple months here of putting stuff together with the crew. It's like work for me has been so isolated, and like I work remotely from home. So when I get the opportunity to hang out with people who I actually like talking to and like genuinely enjoy having a conversation with, and you know, getting paid is nice, but like just getting to hang out with you guys and talk, it's like 1% closer to being in a big office where we can sort of walk over to each other's computers and be like, hey, how do you feel about? Do you want to play Mario 64 for an hour? I don't know. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
We're almost there.
Yeah, for sure. I couldn't agree more. I feel like the Noclip 2 stuff has been a nice like unifying factor where Noclip Prime is sort of, it still feels kind of siloed even when it's very collaborative projects. Like the Disco Elysium edit, that project was incredibly collaborative, but it's still sort of like everyone is it's like Frank does the gameplay over here and then he like hands it off. The collaboration is in sort of like the handoff that we're like working with each other's things, whereas Noclip 2 it feels like more of we're coming up with ideas together. We're doing stuff together. We're like thinking about what games to focus on. We're communicating about what games to cover and making shit together. And yeah, I have a lot of ideas for what to do with Noclip 2 next year. And I think it's going to be big. I think it needs it needs to be a place for us to unleash sort of like all of the creative passion we have for making videos and talking about games and covering games in interesting ways. And yeah, I think next year is going to be the year.
Absolutely. I'm completely, I agree 100%. I feel like this year has been a good opportunity for us to sort of see what we're interested in doing. And next year we're finally going to hit the ground running as soon as everyone's back together and we can sort of pool our resources. I think that'll be the time to really start doing stuff that we're excited about. Not that we're not excited about doing all this stuff, but things that are more a little more creative, a little more weird, a little more of that avant-garde energy that we wanted to bring with Noclip 2. So far, it's been great for discovery, but I want to start really hitting that drum of like, here's weird stuff and here's how we do it weirdly, So
I got
hopefully
weird
next year,
thoughts. I got weird shit up here in my brain, and I need
you know how
to
messed up our
share
brains
it
are?
with the
Our
world.
brains are so messed up. They're especially messed up after watching the Game Awards. That's what my brain sounded like after I experienced 3 hours of commercials, nonstop, straight to the dome. Shout outs to Jeff Keighley. I take it back, actually. No shout outs to Jeff Keighley. Down,
Damn.
boy, down. You're not good enough for shout outs. Frank, you did not watch the Game Awards because you have self-respect, but Jeremy, you and I separately watched 3 hours of commercials, advertisements, and advertisements for the advertisements. What did you think of the show? Give me a rating out of 10.
I mean, I don't know. I kind of always hate it. I don't know.
You kind of have to a little bit. That means you love it. You can't love something. You can't hate something if you don't love it.
I love video games.
I agree with
and
that.
There is have I told you this? Have we talked about this before?
Have we talked about that before?
I love video games, and it feels like the Game Awards is such a beat in the like cultural rhythm of the year of video games that it's like, it's like I have been to E3 a bunch. E3 was something that I idolized and idealized as a child, and then you go to whatever, like 5 of them, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's that place where I don't get enough sleep and I'm like hungover.
My shoulder hurts from
gameplay.
carrying the tripod bag. And
Yeah, that's the place where my back hurts a lot. That's what growing up is realizing that E3 is just back pain. And so yeah, I don't know. The Game Awards is like, I don't particularly enjoy it. Sometimes there are bits of it that I like, but I like to watch it because I like to see announcements. I like to feel part of the. I don't know. It's like there's a different feel. You could just get the experience of the Game Awards in 20 minutes after, and that's fine. You could just read like a GameSpot listicle of like 10 announcements that are cool. But I like to be there when it pops, There's something about it,
There is a level of hype where like if you can get on a call with some homies and just laugh at it, that's really the only way you should watch the Game Awards.
Yes.
But when you can sit down and all 3 of you are going, Jack and Daxter. No, it can't be Jack and Daxter. It's Half-Life. It couldn't be Half-Life. Why would they show it here? Like everyone's trying to play who knows the most video game symbolism trivia and like guess what it is before they do the trailer drop. That is the only fun I find from the event. And also seeing cool new video games, and obviously that's fun. But before they showed the new Star Wars, they showed off like, what is it? The Fate of the Old Republic or something like that. Before they showed that off, there was no setup. Jeff didn't say, in a galaxy far, far away or anything like that. Long time ago. I was like, I bet this is Star Wars. And it cut and I was like, the gift of Apollo, baby. Call me Raven Simone. I can see the future. So that was fun. I agree with you on that like watching it, seeing new stuff. It was the fun of E3. It was like, you never know what's going to be there. And then when you see it, maybe it's exciting. Usually it's not. Sometimes it's a Souls-like. And then you get bored.
And then sometimes they pop a trailer like the Divinity trailer that's got like gore and there's like people fucking
and there's children nearby.
It doesn't get banned from Steam.
Weird.
It seems like an odd thing to me. I don't know. I've maybe I need to update what my understanding of the policies are or something. No, I don't know. It's like, you're right. It's fun to guess it. And yeah, I don't know. Occasionally, I would say every year there's like one or two announcements that I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
There's a couple things, yeah. Was there anything this year that stood out to you?
Well, I was about to
we
ask
don't
you
have
the
to go
same
through
question.
everything. We're not litigating all of the announcements. You saw
also,
them or don't care.
By the time this airs, it will be like a
old,
week since
old news.
Everyone's fucking old news.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me just rattle off a couple and talk about what's cool about them. They opened with the Free Shepherd, a dog video game, which I was just excited because they mentioned Burlington, Vermont, and I love Vermont. So
True.
It's a game that was made in Burlington, Vermont. That's crazy.
Shout outs to Bernie Sanders State.
Shout out Bernie, my boy. Yeah, I would love, if the Free Shepherd team wants to talk, I'd love to pop up to Burlington. I'll just drive out there and chill. And Jesse could meet me halfway because it's like kind of halfway between us.
You got it. I'll
Just
cross
saying.
the border just for you. It's risky, but I'll do it.
Yeah, what else was there? There was Bradley the Badger, that weird like meta game. That's
I don't
like
know if that
about
was cool.
games. No,
I
it wasn't
think
cool.
No, but it had like the dreams. You could interact with the world mechanic and like you could pick stuff up and explode it or make it bigger or duplicate it. That was kind of a novel idea, but I don't know if I thought the rest of it was interesting.
No, it pissed me off, frankly.
Okay.
I post, and people were, whenever there's a show on, we always post in the Noclip Discord because our community are all like watching it together.
Yeah.
And after Bradley the Badger trailer aired, I posted in the Noclip Discord and said, allowing millennials into creative control positions in the video game industry will do irreparable damage to the medium of video games.
Burn. Sick burn.
That's the only reason I want to mention that.
That game is from the creator of Mario Rabbids, by the way.
Yes, which Mario Rabbids is a great game.
Yeah, but it's to your point. I feel like Rabbids are very millennial coded.
That's true. Yeah, that game to me is good in spite of the Rabbids, I would say.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? It's like a good tactics game that doesn't need the Rabbids, but they're there.
It's like that's the only way Ubisoft would give them the money is if they could figure out how to make Mario and one of their properties go together.
Yeah, that's true. Big Rabbids was funding that one. Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic, I thought was cool just because I like the KOTOR games. I never played the Old Republic MMO, but like, I don't know, man. There's a part of me that just I fucking love Star Wars, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I hate it too. If you really love Star Wars in 2025, you kind of hate Star Wars.
You gotta love it to hate it. It's just the truth.
Yeah. But I don't know, any new Star Wars video game, it's like, it might fucking be good. You never know. It could always pull up out of the nosedive and surprise you. Yeah, Divinity, I thought looked interesting.
It's just the cinematic, right? They didn't have gameplay or anything.
It was just a cinematic trailer. Yeah, this is a weird one because it's not an original sin game. And I've never played like Divine Divinity or this sort of
Well, but they have said that this is supposed to be more in line with the original Sin games in terms of gameplay. Like it's supposed to be turn-based and not action RPG like Divine Divinity sort of was. So it's still what you would expect from the way they're talking about it.
Correct. Yeah. I think it'll be more like a Dungeons and Dragons-y sort of like Baldur's Gate 3 adjacent CRPG. But Divinity Original Sin 2 is one of my favorite all-time RPGs. So
are you going to stream this on GeForce Now as well? Is that your plan?
I did play the entirety of Original Sin 2 on GeForce Now on my MacBook because I didn't have a computer at the time. So 150 hours of game that was on like a server farm in Las Vegas. So I liked it enough for that. What else? Coven of the Chicken Foot. There was that like weird dark fantasy game with the old lady. It was kind of like The Last Guardian meets, I don't know, Studio Ghibli or something.
Yeah, name a movie. Name a Ghibli movie. It's like that.
Yeah, this is Bruce Straley is involved in this as well.
The Naughty Dog head, right?
Yes,
the one that's not Druckmann.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the half of the sort of like leading duo of the Last of Us, original Last of Us. And I don't really fuck with Uncharted. I didn't like The Last of Us 2. Last of Us 1, I did like. And I feel like Bruce Straley was probably a big part of that. So to me, I have no particular insight into the creation of The Last of Us, but I have always imagined him as sort of like the beating heart of Last of Us that got removed and was created this sort of like big dissonance between Last of Us 1 and 2. So I'll be curious to see what he's working on. Ontos, spiritual successor to Soma. That looks fucking awesome.
I can't wait for that. I have not checked the credits or anything regarding that game. It is so Dishonored coded. I have to assume someone from Arcane, some art director or level designer or something, character modeler, I don't know, got involved because it looks so much like a Dishonored game. It's kind of bizarre how
Yeah.
close it looks.
I didn't even clock that when I was watching it, but now that you say it, you're right. It does have that sort of like grounded stylization or something.
Yeah.
It's
Painterly look to it.
Yeah, like
almost.
a Norman Rockwell kind of thing going on.
Totally.
Yeah, there was Order of the Sinking Star, which obviously, mixed feelings. I don't know. We'll see.
love a good Sokoban. Shame about the other parts.
Witness
There's been
is
some interesting
good.
controversy with that. Alan Hazelden, who I talked about in a previous podcast, was making a bunch of posts on Blue Sky about his involvement and a bunch of other devs who made Sokoban-style puzzle games whose games were like licensed and they were all paid. Like this is all above board from my understanding of them admitting it. So their games have been licensed and included in some regard into this new project from John Blow, but they've also come out and been like, politics, like they're like, but they're still being straightforward about it. Like this is our ideas are included here and we all signed off on them. So at the very least, it's above board.
Yeah. I'm not even like, my take isn't even like, oh, we got to separate the art from the artist. Like just buy the new Kanye album and enjoy it. Like that's not my take at all. It's just like, if this game pulls off something close to what The Witness pulled off, I would be interested to check it out in spite of the sort of cultural context. Or like, I don't know. I think the cultural context makes stuff like that interesting too. Not in a way where you should like support people because they have bad takes, but it's like, if you play a game that is made by someone who has like some pretty like dog shit takes on how the world is, it is also interesting to see how that's informed in the art. Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know. You never know. Maybe there's like a character in this who's like, I think the disease came from a lab. Or whatever.
I just have some interesting thoughts about women's brains and their capability to engage in STEM.
Yeah,
That's
like
all.
maybe there's a guy in the game who's like, I just think only men can program. And it's like, that's fucking weird. I can't believe this is in a video game.
Damn, where's the mute button on that guy?
Yeah, exactly. There was Gang of Dragon, the new
Toshihiro
Nagoshi game.
Nagoshi.
Yes, of Yakuza fame. This had the actor from Train to Busan and a bunch of other movies in it. I don't know. It's like it's weird because it's so Yakuza coded, but it's like it's not like a Kiryu character. It's not like his character seems to function very similarly to Kiryu. He's sort of like soft-spoken and withdrawn and brave.
Speaks with his fists.
Yes, like badass, but in a different way. So I'll be curious to see how that comes out. Frank, did you see that trailer for Gang of Dragon?
Yeah, I love that it's straight up still a Kabuki-cho. Like the fact that it ends on the gate is like phenomenal.
So that I thought was an interesting touch is that sign isn't the Kamurocho. That one's Kabuchiko's actual sign, right? Like the kanji is correct for that. I thought that was interesting of Nagoshi being like, hey, I'm doing the same thing, but I'm fucking not doing the same thing.
Yeah,
that was pretty
for
cool.
sure. I think it'll be cool. I mean, fucking Yakuza is great, and Nagoshi was such a huge part of that. And despite the fact that Yakuza games they're still making good Yakuza games, but it does feel like, as someone, I'm a latecomer to it, so it's not even like a nostalgia take where I'm like, oh, they used to make them different or whatever. I just, for my personal taste, I like the way Yakuza used to be tonally a bit better. So I'll be curious to see sort of like how much of that DNA is Nagoshi and how much he carries with it, how much of that he carries with him into a new project or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like how
Frank,
much it feels like Yakuza original.
Sorry. Yeah, it feels a lot closer to that original Yakuza tone. Frank, you've been enjoying these newer ones. I don't know if more or less than the old Yakuzas. How do you feel about this new project being closer to the originals?
The new one or Gang of Dragon, like I feel like I don't even think I watched the full trailer, but I skimmed it. But it's like I feel like they openly showed like gun violence. Like it seems super brutal and violent. But then that other like Yakuza Century, that old school, that like Sega's also working on a like back in time Yakuza game that also I think seems super violent, but this one's got way more gun violence. And like there's guns in the other Yakuza games. This one feels like it's really leaning into it. So again, but I also like generally hate all the Game Awards stuff because there's never gameplay. It's these games are so far out, and I don't like judging stuff just based on cinematic. Like this conversation's fine, but it's just like that's why I just so tune out. It's like these are all announcements, these are trailers. Like 3 years from now when we can play it, then I'm interested. But for me, oh my god, I'm excited for this, but I have no idea when the hell this will come out.
Yeah, luckily for because I agree with you. I hate to like see a cinematic and be like, that looks like a good game. Because it's
Yeah,
like,
that will
it's
be
like
fun.
it's like seeing a movie poster being like, oh, that will be a great movie. It's like, how do you can't, you don't know that. You haven't even seen the
It
actors
has
moving.
actors I like and an IP in it, man. It's going to
Yeah.
be good.
And I saw a drawing of the logo, so it's got to be good. Luckily for like, for Gang of Dragon, there was some gameplay screenshots that dropped. I saw people comparing it to, what is it? Yakuza Dead Souls.
Because he had the machine gun, right?
He has like the Gatling gun. So yeah, I don't know. I'll be curious to see more though. But it was just cool. I just personally wanted to know what Nagoshi was cooking on, because it's like that. It's kind of like when Kojima went out on his own, and you know, like the reveal of Death Stranding 1, like what he was doing. It's like, even if you don't see a lot of gameplay of it, it's cool just to sort of have a bookmark in your mind of like, oh yeah, fucking Nagoshi's out there. He's working on a project. This is what it is.
If only Jeff Keighley liked the Yakuza series more, he would have given that the Kojima treatment and like been like, hey, here's a huge setup of a game that's the most important thing ever made. Here's an 8-minute trailer. He didn't have to spend any money on it. Yeah, that's a shame.
For sure.
Is there anything else, Jeremy?
From the Game Awards or on Yaku's?
On either.
Let's see. I'm going through the rest of the list.
Don't force yourself to say anything.
No.
It's okay.
There
I know
were,
you're excited for High Guard. I get it.
I do. I am working my way down the list in terms of like first to last announced at the show. So we are getting into the higher profile shit. Orbitals looked kind of cool, but I'm not.
Orbitals looks awesome.
I don't have a Nintendo Switch 2, and I'm not going to buy one. So
just come on up.
I want to play Duskbloods.
Okay,
so,
come up. We'll play it.
Okay, I will.
Right.
My brother is getting a Switch 2 for his children, so I will
just become one of your brother's children.
It's fucking, hey, your uncle's here. Anyway, I was gonna play Duskbloods if you guys want to just
push
hang
him off
out
the
and
couch.
watch me play this violent game on the internet. They're like babies, so they would love it.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, and then that's kind of it. I was a little disappointed. The end of the show is usually when it's like, okay, finally, we're on to the real shit now. And the real shit was just kind of like Star Wars Galactic Racer.
Hey, stop talking shit. All right.
I liked the
This is pod racing.
I was going to say the podcast game. I loved fucking Star Wars Podcaster, that game for the Nintendo 64. That was a great game.
The Empire is always saying slurs on their podcast.
That's true.
What's that about?
Funny story about Star Wars Pod Racer. I had that game on the N64, and for some reason I was holding the cartridge outside and I left it on the ground in the driveway, and my mom backed over it with her Honda.
And it survived.
And it survived.
It's an N64 cartridge. They're indestructible.
Works. It's like punctured though. Like it's
That's
like
fine.
It looks like someone shot it with a bullet.
All right.
But it still works. So shout out to that guy who invented the video game cartridge. There was Phantom Blade Zero, which I feel like is emblematic of my disillusionment with games in general.
Frank, you were excited for that, right?
Yeah, I played it Summer Games Fest like last year, not this year, last year. So it was just like, yeah, it was another like Souls-like, but it felt really cool.
Yeah, I love how it looks.
Yeah,
I agree.
China, I think Shanghai.
That sounds right.
I have very mixed feelings about it, because I was watching the trailer and I was like, this looks exactly like a game that I would think is cool, but it wasn't. I don't know why. It just like, it wasn't exciting me, and I've been struggling to come up with like the words to articulate what it is that isn't exciting, and I feel like it might be a great game, but the way in which they are presenting it feels to me like it's like everything that I think it looks cool about it is like referential to something that already exists. It's like a wuxia, that I think that's how you pronounce it, WUXIA.
Yeah.
Wuxia. It's like reference to that film genre of martial arts, and like to like Chinese culture, and to like Souls games, and kind of to like more actiony like God of War stuff a little bit. But I just don't know what it is like for itself. Does that make sense? I haven't seen anything of it that I'm like, oh wow, that's such a different
uniquely
original
Phantom Blade
vision.
Zero.
Yes,
Yeah.
like what makes it different from all these things that it's referencing or influenced by. So I'm not sold on it yet. I think it presents very well. I think it looks gorgeous, and I think it looks like it'll play very well. But I need to like, what's the vision? You know, like I want to know a little more about it. I think.
Yeah, apparently it is part of the Rainblood series, or a return to the origins of the Rainblood series, which I guess is something that I've never heard of before.
I've never heard
So
of this either. Frank,
maybe
do you know
there's
what that
some-
is?
Yeah, no clue. I don't think any of us do. Apparently it's some cult. I know there's a lot of games coming out of China that were like, oh, that's a thing. And they're like, yeah, it's the most important game ever made, which is not, it's just pure ignorance. It's just like it never made its way to English and this part of the world. So of course we haven't heard about it. So it's been interesting to see that part of it. But yeah, I'm curious what exactly, it looks great. Phantom Blade Zero. And my understanding of it is like, it's a lot of, everything is very reactive. All the animations look great. Like it looks very cinematic in its styling for the combat. But yeah, you're right. I need to see a little bit more. Where's the sauce? Also, correction on the developer. They are from Beijing, China, but they do have a motion capture studio that's in Shanghai, and they work with a team that works that's in Hong Kong. So there you go.
Cool. Yeah, I agree with you. It's like I'm looking at a picture of like one of the best looking hamburgers I've ever seen in my life, and I'm like, yeah, I would eat that.
Where's the sauce?
But like, what makes this hamburger different from all of the other hamburgers that are good?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Fair.
Yeah. So anyway, also while we're talking about Chinese games, I saw footage of Where Winds Meet for the first time this week. With like
fakest game.
The free to play like background of Law and Order SVU ass video game. And I was like, this looks dumb. And then I saw that you use Tai Chi to throw a bear. And all of a sudden I was like, maybe this is kind of sick, actually.
Look, it seems dope as hell. I want to play it. It's also like 120 gigabytes.
Yeah, no, fuck that. I'm not downloading it. But
no.
and I was also thinking about I want to make a, not really, but if I had infinite time, money, and I was immortal, I would want to make an MMORPG that's free to play. And you know how let me cook. Hang on.
All right, okay, you're cooking.
Don't dismiss this idea yet.
It's just very funny.
I know. Coming out of the guy who fucking hates this shit. But hear me out. So games like this operate where it's like, oh, you pay like $5 and you get the hat. You pay $10 and you get the jacket, right? I want to make an MMORPG that's free to play. And the only things you can purchase in it are like $100,000. And
okay.
And you're like, who would ever
Star
buy that?
Citizen?
Yeah, but like cooler. Wait,
Okay.
hold on.
Hold on a second.
Imagine like World of Warcraft, where there's like the Zeppelins and the deep run tram that are people use for transport or whatever. Imagine an MMORPG that has none of that. But if you're like a rich person who has no purpose in life and you have too much money and you're playing this MMORPG, you can buy a Zeppelin. And
Jeremy, you're just inventing NFTs.
it's no, because there is a functional purpose that you would fill where if you're
Okay.
let me sell you on it in one phrase.
Okay.
Imagine you're playing this game and you're not one of these rich people who buys the Zeppelin, and then you're in Elwyn Forest or whatever the fucking Elwyn Forest of this game is, and you see the Zeppelin fly over. It's like seeing a cryptid. You would you'd go to school the next day and you'd be like, you guys aren't going to believe it. I saw the fucking Zeppelin fly over, right? So this fills two purposes. For the rich person who has no purpose in their life and they have too much money, what does every rich person want, right? They want to be beloved.
To hunt for sport?
They want to hunt man
Yeah,
for
of
sport.
course. Yeah.
Yeah, you buy a PvP license. No,
Whole point.
you would become a celebrity because you would be like, I'm the Zeppelin guy, right? So you could buy social status that you cannot buy in the real world. And then for everyone else who does not spend money, they are having a rarefied experience of witnessing the Zeppelin guy. So
Jeremy, you're just inventing FOMO, but it's 6 figures instead of $5.
yes, but
Okay.
I hate rich people and I love rarefied experiences in games. You know what I mean? It would be like if you could buy the privilege of being a Jedi in Star Wars Galaxies. It's a terrible idea, but I like it.
I like the concept of you Great Gatsbying a video game.
Yeah. But
Hey,
as like,
what?
it's like an act of aggression towards rich people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm tapping into their greatest insecurities to fund my game.
Right, but you're like letting them buy popularity by having the special rare thing that like people look at in awe.
Yeah, but there'll be like after the game sells like a certain number of them, everyone in game who doesn't have the $100,000 Zeppelin will get a piece of mail in the in-game mail system that says like, by the way, that guy fucking sucks.
You should redistribute the wealth and give them all like $10 a year for every 100,000 license.
Who gets the
thing.
$10? Every other player?
The players, yeah, why not?
No, I get the money.
Okay.
That is the only crucial
I'll take
element
back
of the
your,
scheme.
your communist license, Jeremy.
The only thing that matters is that I get the money from the scheme, okay? Do not get it twisted.
All right. You're literally selling a bridge in a game. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
And
No,
there's no glitch.
100%. Yeah.
That's great.
And that is my scam.
Okay. All right. I love the idea. I
Thank
can't
you.
wait to play that in 2035 on my PlayStation 6. Check it out. It's coming soon. Bridge Salesman from Jeremy J. Was there anything else from the event that stood out to you, or that didn't
Oh yeah, I
stand
forgot
out
we were
to you?
talking about the Game Awards.
I was happy to move on if you want to move on.
The only other thing is High Guard, which is a bunch of former
yeah.
Apex devs, Call of Duty devs, bunch of like incredibly prestigious
Titanfall devs.
Titanfall devs.
You
like,
can't say that and then show High Guard.
I know. I was disappointed. I was. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what there is to say other than I was disappointed as someone who loves Titanfall and loves Apex and has a real fondness for FPS. For that to be the capstone of the show, that it's like, and finally, before we leave, one last thing, like the moment where fucking Gordon Freeman could walk out, like that's the level of stakes. And they bring out like, Smite characters on horseback. It's like, it was so anticlimactic.
To Frank's point, I think it was largely a cinematic. It's hard to tell. These games, as much as we dog them for being so sort of unoriginal seeming, some of them still have success. Marvel Rivals, I don't know how much of its success is based on the brand, but it has still done well. People like playing it. It's fun. There's aspects to it that are enjoyable. Overwatch 2 is seeing a sort of a comeback, so there's a chance that it works out. But I totally agree that I was so deflated. Like as soon as they were like, it's a first person, it's a hero shooter, put Mega Man back on the screen. I love when give me things that remind me of being 12, not remind me of being 30. That sucks. So that wasn't a great thing to end on, but I hope that team sees success. I'm not going to be like, oh, well, enjoy your new game that's going to suck. Not that that's what you're saying.
I hope it's good.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I just am not sold by what they showed of like, horseback Valorant
For sure.
Apex.
Well, it's out in 7 weeks, so
Yeah, that's crazy.
I guess we'll know. I think that's why Jeff was so excited about it. It was like Keeley. We're on the first name basis. Sorry.
My boy Jeff.
My boy Jeff. Classic Canadian. He when he was really hyped on it, I think it was because it's like, we get to announce something new no one's ever heard of. It's a big game with a lot of money behind it, and it's out in 7 weeks, as opposed to you never know when it'll
That's
be
true.
out.
That's a good point.
That's cool. And also very funny, by the way, that the game is called, what's it called again? I already forgot. High Guard, which, I mean, that's just Overwatch, right? High Guard.
Oh, shit.
Come on.
Oh shit.
Come
on. And it does have an Overwatch flavor to it. Damn, that is a real damning revelation.
Come on.
Yeah, that does feel a little. This is going to sound incredibly derogatory because it is, and I don't mean to shit on the name of the game, but it does sound like you plugged Overwatch into ChatGPT and you're like, what's another Overwatch? I will say though that another sort of like similar caliber spin-off studio that has a lot of ex-Apex, Titanfall, Call of Duty devs that is also working on something that is not announced yet is Gravity Well Games, who I have been eagerly following. So
California, right?
I believe so. Yeah, okay. I think they're probably based not far from where Respawn's at.
That makes sense.
So there are other horses in this race. Is all I'll say. FPS ain't dead yet.
That's right. There's horses in High Guard.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. There's many horses. The only other thing of note from the show, and this is, I'm throwing stones from outside the walled garden here because these are not games I really play or follow at all. I wonder if you guys could give me insight on this. Sure. I feel like IO, who are, they do Hitman and like they're doing the Bond game.
Here's the part of the podcast where Jeremy hates Lenny Kravitz.
No, it's not even I hate Lenny Kravitz. It's like why those games are beloved as games and Bond is beloved as like a franchise. Why do they feel the need to go so hard on the celebrity bullshit?
I don't know. I mean,
they got Eminem
in
they got Lenny Kravitz and
they've
like
got Melina Jojovic. I don't know.
Yeah, like what the fuck is going on over there? Why do they feel the need to like it? To me, it cheapens the entire thing as like we believe in video games, and instead, to me, it communicates we don't believe in video games. We need to like communicate to normal people that this is like a media experience worth having.
It was a funny novelty when they did it really early on. Like, wasn't the first one like you killed John Malkovich or something? Like, there's weird.
Is that real?
Yeah, I think so. It's like weird crossovers where it was like a novelty thing of you get to kill a celebrity in a Hitman game, and like it was almost like it was fun for the celebrity as much as it was for them to do it. So there was that aspect of it, but yeah, I do kind of feel like I don't know. At a certain point, it's like not cute anymore. Now it's just like do you not want to? I don't know. Whatever. It's like it's marketing, really. At the end of the day, I guess.
Yeah, I just think that like if
Lenny
you're
Kravitz as a
marketing-
villain though is stupid. I don't. Get
yeah,
that.
it's dumb, and he's not a good actor either.
No, not really. No.
If
Zoe Kravitz is good. His daughter.
if your marketing is like a supplementary thing where it's like it should exist, it's a necessary evil. I'm not like some sort of idealist who's like you should make a game in a hermit shack in the woods and release it without telling anyone. I mean, that's what I'm
gonna
doing.
do. Yeah. The ideal
But I don't have a marketing budget or John
That's
Malkovich.
true, yeah.
If Eminem wants to help me out, fucking far be it for me to stop him.
Yeah.
But to have this incredibly like self-fueling, high-profile, beloved video game franchise in Hitman, and this like beloved media franchise in Bond. Like Bond is its own celebrity marketing. It's a James Bond game, and it's not like the first Bond game that's ever been made. GoldenEye is one of the most influential games of ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's
100%.
like there is precedent to just be like, it's a Bond video game. And people will go nuts. Even like normal people, like the people who I think would be like, oh, Eminem's in this, maybe that's interesting. Those people played GoldenEye growing up, probably.
Yeah.
Like it's Eminem. Like these are fucking. I don't think like Gen Z and Gen Alpha are like, oh my god, it's fucking Marshall Mathers. I think this is like millennials who are like come home from their marketing job and they're like, I have time to play one game a year. Oh, I'll do the one that has Eminem in it because remember when he was on top for a year and 8 Mile came out the same year as his hit album. When I enjoyed life. And I think you could just as easily invoke GoldenEye and hit that same demographic without having to cheapen it by like celebrity endorsement.
Yeah. It does also sort of feel like, I don't know. I don't want to write anything off with the team. I'm sure they're still doing cool stuff. I mean, they published Mind's Eye, so they know what they're doing. But they're working really hard to make something that feels uniquely like their own James Bond story. Like my assumption was the villain was going to be Blofeld or the villain was going to be Dr. No or something, right? But no, they were like, let's do our own thing. Let's have our own character. They chose Lenny Kravitz for some reason. I don't know what compelled them to do that. Maybe he's a fake out, right? Maybe there is a real Bond villain that'll be included in there at some point. But whatever the case, I didn't get excited about it because he's not a particularly exciting celebrity. I mean, his music's great and whatever. But,
Yeah, like what's the relevance of Lenny Kravitz?
yeah. Like also what's the relevance of like Keanu Reeves in Cyberpunk makes a little bit more sense because like Hackers, he's a relatively popular action hero, probably one of the most popular current action hero actors. So it makes a little bit more sense to have him in that game. But Lenny Kravitz is like a musician.
He's not even an actor, yeah.
He's not even really an actor. Like
I understand that we now like exist in the era where getting high profile actors to be like, Nagoshi had the fucking Train to Busan guy. I wasn't like, why is he doing that? I understand it because the level of fidelity of these games is such that that's why fucking Kojima has like every actor that goes on the Criterion closet comes and stands in front of the Homo Ludens statue with him. Like I get it. It makes sense for him because he utilizes their acting skills in a way that he is trying to push the medium in a direction where like the fidelity of storytelling is higher. I understand that. I'm not opposed to that.
And it's just nice to have Leah Seydoux tell you you're a good boy and you did a good job.
I would do anything for that.
Millions of dollars.
But I just feel like it's like if you're gonna have a celebrity name be your villain, at least fucking get a Skarsgård, just one of them. There's like 100 of them.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Get Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah,
he was in a Bond movie.
Yeah, he was. He was Blofeld, right? Wasn't he in?
I don't know. I haven't seen a Bond movie since probably
Spoilers?
Casino Royale.
Sorry, I don't know. Yeah, I hope it's good. It looks good.
Yeah,
Like,
the
it
game
looks
looks
like it'll be
cool.
fun.
I'm not shitting on the game itself. I just think it's like
No, but that aspect of it's embarrassing's maybe a stretch too far. But I certainly wasn't excited about it. Lenny Kravitz. Yeah, there's some other stuff from the Game Awards that was interesting. There Control Resonant. Sorry, we didn't even mention the new Remedy Control game, which looks like they're going Devil May Cry as opposed to going Alan Wake in their direction. So I'm very excited for that gameplay wise. If it plays as good as it looks like it does, that'll be awesome. I didn't really find the combat and Control very fun. So I hope this feels better. It looks like it'll feel better. I like action games, so that'll be cool. And I think that's pretty much it from me. Oh, Ace Combat 8 also.
Oh yeah.
I wish I got into the Ace Combat series earlier. Ace Combat 7 kicks ass. And this one has more human being, like Top Gun Maverick hanging out bits. So Cool. I'm excited for that. I hope they have a beach scene where all the men get super, super, super sweaty. Can't wait.
Hell yeah.
Can't wait. That was the Game Awards, where it was featuring Andrew Schultz. Don't Google anything that he's said or done in the last couple of years. Give him a microphone. Also, the Street Fighter thing, I just want to say, very funny. Very dumb. I don't know why. They brought the whole cast out. Frank, did you see any of that? I know you didn't watch it, but like, did you see? Okay. Most of the cast of the Street Fighter movie was on stage. They had a bunch of wrestlers. They had a bunch of Cody Rhodes was there. And I think Jason Momoa came out who's playing Blanca, which sure, why not? Give him long hair and let him do something funny. He'll be on board. But I just need you and everyone listening to go look up 50 Cent Balrog in Street Fighter, the movie. Trust me, you're not ready for his hairline. I guarantee. I told you.
Oh my God.
That's a war crime. I know that's relatively accurate, but don't put that on a real human being, you monsters. That has made me more excited for this movie than anything else. Also, Cody Rhodes as Guile, when you see pictures of him, it feels like it should be an easy slam dunk, but it just looks so wrong. Anyway, that's my thoughts on Street Fighter. I'm sure it'll be a movie that you can watch in theaters or on HBO Max if that's still a thing, or Netflix, depending on when the merger happens. Anyway, let's move on from the Game Awards and talk about the only game that deserves an award. The award being Best Movie Adaptation with Terminator 2D. No Fate. Finally, Frank Howley, after multiple delays, they have released your real game of the year. How are you feeling about Terminator 2D?
Yeah, I'm so happy with Terminator 2D No Fate. I remember I was at the San Diego Zoo with a friend who came out of town from London, and I was walking around with a group of friends, and then I stopped in front of the panda exhibit, and it was like, holy shit, guys, look at this. I was like, guys, or not pandas, there was polar bears. I was like, guys, look at this. And I was floored at this Terminator 2 pixel art game, which is like, why is this coming out 30 years later? This should be launching on like Genesis and Super Nintendo. And then we kept talking about the podcast. I think like a year ago, no, I don't know. This is like 6 months ago it got announced. But like, I kept bringing it up like, oh my God, I'm so excited for this. It's supposed to come out like September, and then it got Silk Songed and got pushed back. I didn't play Silk Song. I want to play the Terminator game. They got pushed to November. I had it on my calendar. And then Jesse was like, hey, did you see the release date? What? It got pushed till like even after the Game Awards. So that's why I didn't participate in the Game Awards. I didn't even have a chance to play this game yet and nominate it. So Terminator 2D No Fate came out. So yeah, this is by I'll pull up the Steam page, the developers. But Jesse called out, it's the team that made this earlier 16-bit shooter called Xeno Crisis, which I played on Game Pass forever ago, which was pretty solid. And so Terminator 2D No Fate is it's a very genius like throwback game where you're playing as both like John Connor as a kid, future John Connor. You're playing as Sarah Connor and the T-1000, and each level is essentially a recreation of like an action sequence from the movie. There's also levels set before the movie. Like, I think at one point, someone asked John Connor, like, how'd your mom end up in prison? Oh, yeah, she went psycho and tried to blow up Cyberdyne. You play that sequence. So, like, the first, like, few levels of the game is Sarah Connor heading to Cyberdyne to blow it up, and then she gets arrested and thrown in the mental hospital. And when I realized, and then it cuts to Arnie waking up in front of the biker bar. And I was like, oh my God, this whole sequence we played was like one line of dialogue in the movie. And they made 3 levels on that. So it was like, so immediately it buys you into like, oh, this is like a rare game adaptation or a film adaptation where it's like, oh my God, they maximize like the fan service. Like, it's not just like we have to rush it out in time for like, historically with video game adaptations, they're always rushed out in time as a release date. They're working on the games before the movie's even finished, so they have no idea what the hell they're working with. Terminator 2 has been out for like 30 plus years. Who knows how long they've been working this? A year plus? I have no idea. But it's just maximizing dripping with like fan service and detail. So every stage, I was like, there's that, there's this. They licensed the original music from the game. There's also a new chiptune music that's great. Bad to the Bone is licensed in this game. In between the action sequences, there's like just straight up shot for shot recreations done in like beautiful pixel art. Beautiful. Like it's like SNK level detail. It's so like that is a compliment. It's SNK level pixel art, which we don't get ever. It was such a thrill to play. The only like downside, but not for me because there's not enough time in life to enjoy everything. I have to keep going back to Japan. You can beat the entire game in like less than 3 hours. I'm saying that in terms of to do one playthrough takes maybe 45 minutes. There's 3 different endings to unlock. There's a John Connor ending. So there's the canon film ending. You beat the game, and then it's like, I don't know, choose your fate. If you like go back and play the level again, then it's branching paths, and that's where it's cool because then they come up with new endings for the game. So like, there's a Sarah Connor ending where like, I don't know, no spoilers, whatever. Like, they're giving, I don't know, it's like I don't know, you're getting new Terminator 2 stuff. I don't know why the world isn't screaming about this. This is so exciting. I don't care about Avatar coming out. I love James Cameron. I don't like Avatar. I love Terminator, and it's 90% of the time there's new Terminator stuff. It sucks. No one cares. This is good new Terminator stuff. So it was really fun to see like new Terminator levels set within the canon of Terminator 2, and it's awesome. And yeah, so I played through the game 3 times. I played on easy difficulty. There's more achievements for doing on harder difficulties. There's like boss rush mode. There's like no continuums mode, whatever. I don't know if I'll go back to it. There's a few collectibles I might play again when there's trophy guides out. But for me, sitting there Friday night, it was the equivalent of going to the theaters and seeing Terminator 2. Instead, I was playing it and smiling and laughing and having such a good time and popping in all the little details. There's even the John Connor motorcycle sequence chase when they're leaving the Glendale Galleria. And the truck chases John Connor and jumps off the freeway into the LA River, and you're playing John Connor on a motorbike, and then Arnie comes on his bike, and then you're playing as Arnie and shooting the truck with a shotgun, and it explodes, and the T-1000 liquid metal comes out in pixel art, and it's just like, this is perfect. Thank you. We just mentioned GoldenEye. That's another like phenomenal game adaptation. So it's like, it's so rare we get a film to game adaptation that's incredible, and this is it. They knocked it out of the park. Like, yeah, make a RoboCop. Keep doing this. I don't know if it's gonna sell well. I feel like there's such a micro target audience for this. I don't know. But for me, I'm so delighted. It's $30. It was like an opening week discount. I think $25 in PlayStation Plus. Take the money, developers. You guys killed it. It was awesome. It was so cool. So it was worth the wait. I really, really like this game.
Yeah, developers Bitmap Bureau, by the way, was their name. Yeah, they've done really good work. Like Frank said, Xenocrisis in the past. And I did watch, we recorded a quick look of this for Noclip 2, so you can check that out. I watched Frank play a little bit of this. It is, as he is saying, every bit as much of like well-made fan service to the top. Like their reference, I love this movie probably not as much as Frank. I don't know if it's possible for me to love anything as much as Frank loves the stuff that he loves. But like this, to me, is capturing everything about Terminator 2 that is fun. It's not just the action sequences. It's like little references to things. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger's naked in the bar scene, because of course he is. That's how he is in the movie. You don't see his little Arnie, but you do see enough of him. Like everything is perfectly done. There's references to the brands that are in the movie and like little bits of just character interactions that seemed sort of like nothing in the movie, or like, oh, that's a good bit, but like they go in on it. They're like, here's the animation, especially to do it all in 2D and pixel art in the style that they've done it with the level of fidelity. Like I think I pointed out in the video, there's a moment where Frank was fighting someone in the bar, or not even fighting him yet. The guy was getting ready to fight Frank, and he picked up a pool cue, and just his animation there was like 100 frames of some of the best looking pixel art I've ever seen, lit properly. Like it all looks so fantastic. And to your point, Frank, it's nice to see a licensed game again that is playing pure fan service, because like that sort of thing died out, I feel like, in the mid 2000s, late 2000s, where like fan service game, or not fan service games, but like licensed games had to be either its own thing that was like special and like I like that obviously, but there's a charm to doing a licensed thing. So it was either that, it was either like a high profile big AAA, it's a brand new property using the original idea, but we've written our own story, or it was a mobile game that was basically just Fruit Ninja, but you were Batman. And now I feel like everything's just like, you know, you would just see the T-1000 in Fortnite, and that would be about it, which he is in Fortnite, isn't he?
I think, yeah. I know, yeah, and then even like Mortal Kombat 11 and 1 both had separate T2 DLC. So like, yeah, they pop up and up, but it's been so long since we had like there was a Terminator like first person shooter Fallout type game that came out like 5 years ago that was actually like pretty solid. It might be called Terminator Resistance. That was good, but like until then there's the original Terminator 2 pinball game, and then arcade game, which is what has the machine gun, and that got ported. But then there's a million like bad spin-offs. There's like Terminator vs. RoboCop, which is like which I think also is a comic that Frank Miller wrote, but like there's like, that's why I've been burned a million times by bad games. So it's like, I was nice to play this and it was like, oh, it's surprisingly good. Oh, this is all like, and I do want to go back and play the bad Terminator spinoff games now inspired by this. But yeah, it's like weird to get a good licensed game. And a lot of people have said The Mummy Demastered is also, that was another game that I don't know what studio made that, but some studio got hired to make The Mummy Demastered because Tom Cruise had a Mummy movie and Universal was trying to rebrand the cinematic monster universe. So this game, The Mummy Demastered, came out. I never played it, but everyone was like, "This is a weirdly good licensed movie."
The soundtrack is fantastic. Really, really good music for that game. Yeah, you remember the start of the Dark Universe? This is the start of the Dark Universe. Fools. They got their Morbius moment with that one. Speaking of Terminator games, I was just looking up here because I know there was that Terminator Survivors that we were talking about after we recorded the thing of like, now they have Nacon are developing and publishing their own, it looks like a multiplayer game in some capacity. I can't really. Everything looks the same now. But last year there was a Terminator RTS. I can't imagine a more anti-Frank thing to say, but a Terminator RTS called Terminator Dark Fate Defiance.
What? Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a real-time strategy. It's not just a game. It's an adrenaline-fueled journey where your strategic prowess decides the fate of mankind against the machines.
Wait, why does this look good?
Right? This actually looks like a good RTS game.
Why does this look so good? What the fuck? I'm going to play
positive reviews.
It's got really good reviews.
And it's on sale on Steam right now. I don't know if
it's developed by the team that did Broken Arrow and I don't know how many of the same people, but Broken Arrow, and it looks like it's published at least by them, and the Starship Troopers game.
Yo,
Slytherin. Yeah.
RTS, underserved genre.
I agree.
We got to bring it back.
There should be more. Maybe you should do that. Maybe your game where people spend $100,000 should be on a tank that you can destroy.
All right, I'm glad you brought this back up because I need to unwrite the Star Citizen slander that was thrown at my scam
I'm
idea.
so sorry.
It is a scam. That is true.
Okay.
But the reason it's different is because the ship that you buy with real money in Star Citizen, everyone has a ship. Yours is just different. In my scam, only the rich people have the rarefied thing. So when you see it, you're not like, oh, that's like a thing, but different. You're like, that is the only thing.
Okay.
That is why my scam is different. Okay, that's it. I just need to set the record straight.
We'll come back to it later when you've got a new multi-level marketing scheme. We'll figure it out.
If I'm going to enter my P.T. Barnum heel era, I need to come correct, all right?
You got to go all out. Make sure that you're at least being honest about your scam.
Yes.
I do appreciate that.
And I want to be respected for the level of craft that I put into my scams.
You're right. I'll clap after you rip $1 million out of 10 people.
Hey, there's a sucker born every minute. And some of them have $1 million.
And every time they get sucked out of $100,000, an angel gets its wings.
Amen.
You know, it's not a scam. Terminator 2D, No Fate. Pick it up on Steam, Xbox, PlayStation, Switch.
I think so. Yeah, I played it on PS5, but let me see what it's on.
And yeah, for, like Frank said, 20% off right now. You can get it for 25 schmackaroonies USD. It looks like a ton of fun. There's lots of good opportunities to replay. You can see some of the, like Frank said, see all the stuff played out a little bit differently, learn all the story stuff. I imagine if it does well, they'll probably keep updating it too, adding new things. I wouldn't be surprised. No promises there. They didn't tell us anything, but seems awesome nonetheless. Congrats to them for getting out the door as well. Like I said, it was delayed a bunch, pretty close to launch 2 times. So always nice to see that story end well and not negatively.
Are there any good Terminator movies after Terminator 2?
Terminator 3 is okay.
I've not seen any of them after 1 and 2.
Is Dark Fate the newer one?
Is it yeah, what's the one where they had one where it was like Sarah, like Linda Hamilton came back.
That's Dark Fate.
Is that Dark? I bought like a 4K Blu-ray of that for like $8 at Book Off once, but I never watched it. And I feel like that's one, like if I watched it with no expectations, I'd probably like, oh, that was cool. But yeah, I think I've only seen Terminator 3, and then I think I've just forever checked out after that. I don't think I saw the Christian Bale one. I don't know. But yeah.
That one's Genesis. Right?
Interesting.
Salvation.
The Salvation. Okay. Yeah. What the hell's Genesis? Is that a thing?
That's the one where they had what the fuck? What's Game of Thrones lady, and then there's like a Korean actor in it too.
Oh yes, yeah. Amelia Clark.
Terminator Salvation. The music was done by Danny Elfman. Which is really funny.
That's how you know it's good.
I'm picturing like the T-1000 comes out. Yeah. Fucking Simpsons ass music.
Real bouncy Terminator soundtrack.
So it's Terminator 1, one of the best films of the 80s. Terminator 2, one of the best films of all time. Then there's Terminator 3, then Salvation, Genesis, Dark Fate. There was a show called the Sarah Connor Chronicles, which I never watched. But
my mom watched that. She's got the disease where she'll watch anything with Terminator in it. She said it was fine. She got through it.
I might. Oh yeah, people in the comments, if you've seen the other Terminator films,
Let us know.
Let me know. Yeah, but I don't know. Because part of me is like, I like Terminator so much. I feel like I'd probably like Dark Fate, and then I don't know. I could still skip Salvation's Genesis, but Genesis seems bad funny. I mean, Arnold's back, and then what's her name, Emilia Clarke?
Yeah,
She can't be bad. It's
No.
yeah, and Lee Byung-hun, who was just in No Other Choice. He's a great actor. I don't know. I gotta see Terminator Genesis. That seems crazy. I mean, yeah. Oh my god.
What do you think I should
made
do?
so
Should I
much
watch
money.
No Other Choice or should I watch Terminator Dark Fate first? Which
Oh
one
god,
do you think?
go see No Other Choice. See Another Choice.
Yeah, that looks good. Korean cinema. Can't go wrong. Well, you can, but usually it's pretty good if it reaches the West. There you go. Terminator 2D, No Fate. Check it out on your platform of choice. We do have a ton of emails this week. A true avalanche of emails in this snowy season if we're in the northern hemisphere. But I do want to mention one more thing that I got a chance to play a little bit this week. Everyone got a chance to play a little bit this week. If you were watching the Game Awards, you saw that Pragmata, which now has a release date of April 24th of next year. There's a demo that you can play on Steam, which is 10 minutes long, which is a great demo. That's all you need. That's all I needed because I'm very excited for that game now. I think it is phenomenal. Frank, you played some of this at Summer Game Fest, one game. They only had one game, and it was Pragmata with Danny. And you had some thoughts on it. You enjoyed it, yeah?
I loved it. I was like, holy crap! It feels like a weird Xbox 360 game. I was like,
Yeah.
shocked. Like not shocked because it's Capcom, and I feel like that, for the last 5+ years, like they've fumbled one generation, but they've been great for like a lot. They've been back at it forever. And so yeah, I was like so stoked on it. So, but yeah, I'm eager to hear your thoughts now that you played it.
Yeah, I thought it was great. So this is a third-person action game where like you're playing as what's his name? Hugh Williams is the character's name. Funniest possible name they could have given him. He's like he works for a space company on the moon, and he is working with an android girl named Diana or Megan from the Megan movie. She looks exactly like that. And the gameplay is, as I said, a third-person shooter, but also it's like 50% third-person shooter, 50% pipe dream hacking mini game where Diana is capable of hacking these robots that you're fighting, these like android style characters. There's other things. There's like a drone and like these other weird things that you fight. It's very Vanquish looking. A lot of the enemies and the armor design looks very much like their like Vanquish. Is that Capcom also?
Vanquish. I don't know if it was Capcom, but Vanquish was the Shinji Mikami, the guy who did Resident Evil and everything. It was part of like the Clover. I don't know if it was that, but like
It's Platinum.
Yeah, Platinum. Yeah. So like everyone who worked at Capcom and made the awesome games left, and then made more Capcom awesome type games. So yeah. So
Right.
same Capcom DNAs in Vanquish, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And it's also, I guess, in Pragmata as well. That was published by Sega, Vanquish. But yeah, Pragmata, it has that visual style to it. But the hacking that the Diana can do is it's like while you're looking at an enemy, you can pull up this weird, it's like, like Pipe Dream, like a weird set of blocks next to the characters, like a grid that you can move this little energy block around, and you're trying to hit all of these squares. And it feels kind of like hokey at first. Like the first time I did it, I was like, okay, that's neat, I guess, in theory. But then I had to fight two enemies at once, and my brain exploded. I was like, okay, I get what they're going for here. So you hack the enemies by sort of completing this very simple puzzle of like, get the block, get your little snake, basically. It plays like Snake. Get your snake over to the green power thing. And then once it's there, you've revealed the enemy's weakness, and you can hit it for massive damage. And then you use these guns that Hugh has access to, like basic, your stuff, pistols, shotgun, but they call it something else. You get like an AoE stun. So you have like more time to hack or do all this sort of stuff. It feels like, at first, I thought it was going to be a hard thing to juggle of like dealing with the hacking and dealing with the shooting. This is all from a 10-minute demo, by the way, of doing those two things at once. But like they give you a lot of leeway, like a lot of leeway. It was very simple on the normal difficulty. Not an insult. I'm excited to see how it grows over the rest of the game. But I was surprised how easy it felt. Like it's still a complex thing, but it's not overwhelming. Basically, is what I'm getting at. So that was cool. I think a lot of the setup that they've done of the sci-fi world is pretty interesting. Again, just from that very quick start, the visuals are is it unfair to say look like Death Stranding even to some extent? Like the player character looks a bit like the mascot for Koji Pro. So I don't think that's too far off. There's a lot of depth to that puzzle solving as well. Like there's a lot of things to consider. Like you can get these like pickups that this game is so strange, but like so normal at the same time. The pickups that you find are squares that you can place in the grid. You don't place them manually. They're sort of randomly placed whenever you start doing a hack. But if you cross over them, you can trigger like, oh, this enemy will take more damage, or this multiple enemies around the enemy that you're hacking will also be hacked. But sometimes you don't want to use it. Sometimes you want to actually avoid the upgrade that you have and just get to the end without triggering it because you have a limited number of uses. So like there's some strategy there. I'm just very excited to see how this whole thing plays out because I love the idea of hacking on the fly. Like Watch Dogs 2. Watch Dogs 2 is probably one of my favorite games of all time. Like I think that game is fantastic. I love the hacking part of it. If you just shoot in that game, it sucks. But if you hack stuff all the time, it is a bizarrely enjoyable puzzle game from start to finish. It is so good. The way you like hack drones, like if you try to break into or solve a mission without ever shooting a gun, the game is 100 times harder and 100 times more interesting. And this doesn't seem like it's quite on that open world level of like hacking the enemies is all you can do. Like hacking does deal damage, but like the quick interactions that you do outside of combat, Diana can interact with locked doors and stuff and solve simple puzzles. It's not like overly complex or anything, but I found it to be like just there's this tangibility to it that felt really nice. It was just you do a quick little button, you press a hack. I love hacking. So yeah, I'm very excited for this. Again, it's a 10-minute long demo. You can check it out on Steam. It feels more like a performance test than anything else. But it's you get the idea right away. And I could see me doing this for precisely 6 to 8 hours, which is roughly how long I feel this game would be before it would get really annoying. And I'd probably play it again too. But I agree with you, Frank. I think Capcom has been just killing it with weird stuff for the last couple years. Like they've also been doing the Resident Evil remakes and making their own new line Resident Evil games, which have been pretty well received. But even like Kunitsugami from what was that, last year, 2 years ago? That was awesome and very strange, very like 2004, 2005 Capcom. So it's nice to see them not only be successful with their big properties, but also come back and like make something that works in the strange range of like Beautiful Joe style games, stuff like that. It's nice to see it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Plus you never get like, at some point, every beloved franchise was like a new idea. You know what I mean? Like Resident Evil 1 wasn't, they weren't like, all right, let's make 20 of these after we do, you know what I mean? They just made a game. So who knows? Maybe in 2050, a podcaster will be like, I can't believe Pragmata 1 is like so rough compared to Pragmata 7.
What were they doing? They were still figuring out how to have the player do two things at once? Idiots. We can just do that now with our Neuralinks.
The little girl in Pragmata is so, I know she's supposed to be an android, right?
Yeah.
She's so uncanny looking. There's something about her and I couldn't place it. And I finally figured out what it is. She kind of looks like a TikTok or like a Korean app on your phone that makes your camera make you look like a child. She looks like an adult with a filter that makes you look like a child or something.
She does look like that. You know the horror movie Megan, right?
Yeah, is she a Mithrigan?
Right. She looks like
it.
Mithrigan.
I've never seen that movie, and I don't know much about Pragmata other than that she's an android. Also, they could have just maybe the people that made the android were like, we'll make her look uncanny. Also, the uncanniness works because she's like not a human person, but
yeah,
I couldn't place it until now.
It is definitely like she looks like a Black Desert Online default character or something. She just has her features are too perfect.
To be fair, also where winds meet, there's a little girl companion in that game, and it's funny because a lot of the characters look like, you know, like AAA like photorealism, and then she has like cartoon character dimensions to her face. Like her eyes are, you know, like TikTok filter. They're giant, and it's very odd how there's sort of like this weird like stylization that applies to child characters in these otherwise hyper photorealistic games. It's a very weird contrast.
They're bringing Moe to Unreal Engine 5. They're finally doing it. They have the technology to pull it off. Pragmata, I think it seems pretty interesting. I honestly, I'm very excited for it. Although, unfortunately, it will be launching pretty close to after when my child is born. So maybe I won't play that. I'm probably going to be having ice soup for the next 7 months of my life while I pay for everything for this child. So if anyone wants to, no, don't buy me anything. I don't need video games. I need fewer video games. If anything, come and take them from my house. I think
this sounded like the way people talk about like Second Amendment reform. You're like, come and take them.
Come and get them. Come and get them.
For some
over
reason,
my dead body.
Over my dead body, you'll take Pragmata from my shelf.
Yeah, can't wait for it. Think it looks really, really cool. And I'm excited to see in what other ways they deal with the hacking. And also congratulations to Mithrigan on her performance in a Capcom game. Good job.
Branching out.
Yeah, those are all the games that we played this week, including the Game Awards. Also, I wanted to mention, by the way, the Game Awards. Shout outs to patron and homie Kron. Before the show started, in their own moment of clairvoyance, they had guessed that Werner Herzog was going to show up at the Game Awards for the Mario movie voicing Yoshi. Oh. Now, clearly a joke. How could you know Werner Herzog was going to show up at the Game Awards for a bit? Especially when he was guessing a completely different thing. Instead, Werner Herzog shows up for Warframe to advertise their new expansion, or like re-explaining what Warframe is to people. And, he did his classic Werner Herzog explanation voice. It's pretty cool. Anyway, avalanche of emails. Let's get to that because we have a ton of them here and they all seem really great. Frank, you want to take it away?
Yeah, thanks to everyone who sent in emails. Please write to us, podcast@noclip.video, or on our Patreon channel for the podcast chat. Once again, that's podcast@noclip.video. Chase from Sacramento asks, what is one game or system from the past that you wish you had a chance to document its development and or its release? Could be a game or studio that was plagued with problems, or it could be quite the opposite. I'm curious what release would be most excited to cover if you had the means to do so at the time.
Earthbound. I would love to be a fly on the wall for the development of Earthbound. It was an incredibly troubled development, and there's a very interesting story about how it was rescued. And also Shigesato Itoi is the GOAT.
It's a pretty good pick. That's a really good pick, actually. Yeah.
That would be cinema. Werner Herzog could have made it.
He could have. You should never play this game. It stinks. Don't play it.
He would say don't play it because it's like
it's too perfect.
Shake you to your core.
You will never play a better game than Earthbound.
The boy eats a hamburger.
It changed my life forever. I can't really think of anything, honestly, off the top of my head. Everything that I wanted a documentary on, Noclip has made, and now I just work for Noclip, so that's pretty cool. Frank, what about you?
Shenmue is Yu Suzuki took his whole team to the Great Wall of China. That in itself is
that's pretty dope.
Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I believe they went to China for trips. There was so many stories of Yu Suzuki just kept taking his team to China, and I feel like that in itself is an interesting thing to have documented. But Shenmue for its time was the first $100 million game. And just at the time, my brain went to Jet Set Radio, the launch of the Dreamcast. But Shenmue itself is such a wild, ambitious project, and now that whole team's evaporated. Many of those people ended up working on Yakuza Games and Sonic Team and stuff like that. But it's man, yeah, the whole Shenmue saga, Shenmue 1 and 2, and even I don't know, even the demise, not the demise of Dreamcast, but they had to shift. They half released Shenmue 2 in Europe, I think, on Dreamcast, and then shipped it in North America for Xbox. But yeah, the Shenmue story. Also, Yu Suzuki's getting pretty old. So oh my God, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Shenmue, I think for its time seems so ambitious. The way they talked about it was when we did the podcast on the Square Enix Final Fantasy movie, talking about all the computers and rendering they needed. I can't imagine at the time how when I saw the trailer for Shenmue, I think my brother and I, we had we got a magazine that had CD. This sounds so ancient. Back in the day, they used to have video game magazines.
Oh, tell me more.
And in the magazine was a CD. You put the CD in your computer.
What's a CD?
And then you could play trailers. So it's so archaic. Whereas now I'm talking about dude, I saw the Terminator trailer on my phone at the zoo. So we popped in the CD in the computer and played the Shenmue trailer. And I remember thinking oh, this is lifelike. This is the most and all it was gameplay footage of Rio walking in a neighborhood. I was the graphics will never be better than this. So to me, Shenmue is historic. It's such a crazy game, and I'm oh, I feel no one even makes fun of it anymore. No one's teasing. No one cares about Shenmue. What happened? That's why
Shenmue
I don't care about the
3
games.
happened.
Yeah, well, come on.
You remember
Come on. We still need. That's why I was holding my breath for Shenmue 4 at the Game Awards. But no, I mean yeah, there's so much. I don't know. Sega is having resurgence, but I feel the Dreamcast era is when Sega was at the peak of the world, and then just the game, everything changed. So it's yeah, I can never get enough Dreamcast stuff. That's why truly people haven't seen it yet on Noclip 2 is the Jet Set Radio thing. I got to make a 10-minute documentary on Jet Set Radio. The fact that I got to sit in for a Q&A and heard glimpses of what the development life was phenomenal. So yeah, Jet Set Radio would be awesome too, but Shenmue is the biggest, most bizarre game ever that kind of people don't talk about anymore.
Yeah, that would be very cool to go back in time and do that. You just reminded me because you've been talking about all these great Japanese games. Killer 7. I would love. I
That's a
wish.
good one.
Just because like that game is insane. So much stuff going on. I'd love to see at what point they were like, yeah, let's just do Power Rangers. What? Just do it for like 30 minutes. Why not? People will love it.
Team Silent documentary. I would love to just like fly on the wall about. There's no way you could have made it because there's no way you could have known how crazy. I mean, that's the case for all of these, but like that one in particular, it's a fly on the wall for that development process of 1 and 2 especially would have been crazy.
Totally.
If there was like a 12-hour documentary that was Silent Hill 1 through 4 and ended in tragedy, it would be the best documentary about video games ever made.
That would be awesome.
A few of my answers to this question I cannot say. Some of them because they're documentaries I want to make for Noclip. One of them is a documentary I already made for Noclip that has not been released yet.
I know what you're talking about.
Like 9 months ago.
Was it really that long ago?
It was right when I moved to Massachusetts. I delivered it, and it's like 95% done.
It's been a long year, but also, hey, release the Jane cut.
It's the only cut.
It's taking some.
Yeah, there is a full ass Noclip documentary that I think it will be. I think people will like it. It was one of my dream interviews, and I got to do it, and hopefully it'll be out there sometime next year.
Fingers crossed. I can't wait to see it. All I've heard is good things from Jeremy. He's been hyping himself up. So if it doesn't meet the expectations,
listen,
I'm not buying the $100,000 boat.
From
I'm not
the guy who
it.
made it and is the only guy who's seen it. It sounds good.
Yeah, it'd be funny if you were like, yeah, it's fine.
I will say one. This is a documentary I do actually want to make for Noclip, but I'll spoil it because it's pretty like low stakes. It's fine if someone else makes this documentary, I won't cry about it. The Secret of Evermore, not Secret of Mana, but Secret of Evermore is it's like an American JRPG. It's an American made JRPG that Squaresoft published.
Oh yeah, you were talking about this a long time ago.
It was like made up in like Redmond, Washington or some shit. And I loved it as a kid. As a kid, I was just like, oh, this is like Secret of Mana, but different. It's not as good, but I think it would be interesting to do a documentary that was like the American JRPG.
The ARPG. Wait, no.
Yeah, different.
This game has a dog that looks like a toaster and shoots laser beams.
As you travel through time, the dog turns into a different dog. It's cool. So when you're in like
make it happen.
You're in the Neolithic era, it's like a big wolfhound. Then you're in like ancient Egypt and it's like a sphinx. The sphinx is like not a dog, but something like that. Whatever. It's like an Anubis dog.
This sounds amazing. Alan Weiss, balls in your court, brother. Hit us up. Noclip.video. Send us the. Oh, also George Sinfeld, which is almost George Seinfeld, which is a very funny ship name. Next email, Frank.
Yeah. Koshimitsu wrote in, I've often had friends over who don't really play games and see them struggle with games. Sorry, let me rewind. Koshimitsu wrote in and asked, I've often had friends over who don't really play games and seeing them struggle with things in games we are able to do without thinking, like controlling the camera with the right stick while moving with the left stick. What game would you recommend as a good onboarding experience for someone who isn't familiar with modern game controls?
Mooncat in UFO 50. Probably a good
that's
starting
mean.
Point. Yeah.
Actually, they might take to it better because they don't have the pre-knowledge that you have to undo to learn.
They'll play that first, and then they'll play Mario and be like, why does this feel like shit?
Yeah.
This sucks.
They wouldn't have to empty themselves of knowledge to refill. They would be empty. This is
tough because there's answers to it that are era dependent. Like if I said you wanted to play N64 PS1 era platforming games, just play Mario 64. That will probably give you a rough understanding of how to move in that era. But I don't know, play The Last of Us now if you want to play games released from like 2015 onward. They all control and feel like that are like big budget games anyways.
Yeah, I would also recommend like, the tough thing is that you don't want to be like your 35-year-old wife who's like, yeah, I'd love to try a video game, and you're like, here's a game that's made for babies. I think it's at your level.
You love this, sweetheart.
It's a hard sell, and it's also kind of demeaning.
A lot. I think
demeaning. It's like It Takes Two might be a good one.
Yeah, It Takes Two works great.
Yeah, something that's like co-op. Also, that one is split co-op where it's like you're doing separate stuff, but co-op where you can directly help them also would be cool because then you can seem cool because they're like, this game's hard, and you're like, watch this.
Yeah, unfortunately, that game has a lot of long sections where it's like a platforming puzzle or challenge. And if you reach the end, you just got to wait for the other person to make it.
Yeah.
And It will start some fights. I'm not speaking from experience. Good shout though. Frank, is there anything that springs to mind for Mario?
I don't know. It was like what's like my first thought was like something like Persona, where you're just picking choices, but then there's like if you play Persona on like easy, they might get intimidated, but that's like you're walking around having dialogue and you can kind of like, I don't know, like I feel like anything that's like a JRPG, you're just making choices is kind of easy, but then there can be complicated systems with that. My other brain went to like just throw them on Super Monkey Ball. Even if it gets hard, it legitimately is like you roll and you collect bananas and maybe you jump, but I feel like I think this last one invented jumping, but all the basic invented jumping, added jumping. A lot of Super Monkey Ball is you see the thing and you just roll the ball, and it's like it feels like there's an instinctual like physics, like
totally.
I feel like it's not too complicated. Jeff Gerstmann's answer is like not for modern games, but he says like Jeff Gerstmann answered something like this a while ago, and he's like super like just the original Mario Brothers, like left, right, you jump. That's like if you want to learn games. But yeah, what's the modern equivalent of that? Maybe a Mario game would be good. Honestly, DK Bonanza is like that's why I like that game. You can just mash in any direction, you're making progress. So like, dude, there's nothing more modern than that. DK Bonanza.
Dude, another game with a little girl on your back. It's been a big year for Japanese games with a little girl on your back. Crazy.
True.
Yeah, Predator Badlands too. Doesn't that also have Elle Fanning on the Predator's back? What's going on with that?
I don't know.
Behind every great man is a great woman. I think that's the quote, right?
Behind
Michelle Obama with Obama. She was just on his back the whole time.
Side character child.
Yeah, Frank, what's up?
I didn't know Predator Badlands released on VOD a week ago.
Buddy.
I just haven't had the chance to see it, so now I'm gonna download it and watch it sometime this week. Oh my god, I'm so excited! Yes, I've been dying to see this. Hell yeah! Okay,
awesome.
Cool. Sorry,
Jeremy, you were gonna say something earlier. I cut you off.
I'm not a Minecraft guy, and I've literally played Minecraft for maybe 20 minutes total. But I feel like Minecraft might be a good one because it's sort of open ended.
Minecraft is definitely a good idea just because it's like first person. It's fairly straightforward in the amount of buttons you have to press. And then also it sort of teaches you the mechanics and systems that are in basically every single video game.
Like every first person game you'll be able to play after that.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Anything with crafting, anything with an inventory that you have to maneuver items around in. Like there's tons of stuff you'll learn. Yeah, from playing. That's a really good idea.
Yeah. Diablo 2.
So wait, Diablo 2?
Diablo 2 on, is there an easy mode in Diablo 2? Diablo 2, just play Diablo 2.
Everyone should just play it. I haven't played it yet, but everyone else should.
Jesse.
I will only play it if you're there, because then what's the point? I'm playing it for my own pleasure. I need you there.
I need there to be a video where we play Diablo 2 from start to finish together and we record the entire thing. I need that to exist.
Patreon.com/noclip2. Leave a comment.
If the people demand it.
Yeah, we need you to vote on our behalf. You're kind of like our legislators, and we're lobbying you. $100,000. We got it from people buying stuff in Jeremy's game, and then I keep coming back to this bit because it's so funny. I'm sorry, it's very funny.
I love you appreciate it. I think it's so dumb that I love it.
It's so good. Next email, Frank.
I did want to issue a correction. Predator Badlands is not on official VOD. The thing I saw is hard-coded with Russian subtitles.
Oh shit!
Which
okay.
I speak Russian, so maybe that's all right. But the VOD might be January, February. So I was like, all right, I might wait. But
you can watch it.
Yeah, because I'm already, so maybe it's okay for me. But yeah, I was like bummed. It's like, oh crap. Yeah, whatever. Anyways, Catherine wrote in, what's the last time you played a game that became one of your favorites ever? I started playing Valhalla recently, and sometimes the game just clicks with you immediately.
Huh. Valhalla, the visual novel.
VA11 Hall A.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, it was this year. It was Needy Streamer Overload, Needy Streamer Overdose, which again is a weird technicality because like that game technically came out in 2022. I didn't know about it until this year. My friend was like, "Yeah, I'm going to this thing in Akihabara." I was like, "What the hell is this?" And then now you see it like even at PAX this year, they're demoing it, and we did a quick look with Jeremy like back in February. And the only reason I played it, this was the year it came out on PS5. And that's the game where you are the boyfriend of a Twitch streamer e-girl, and you have to manage like her mental health. She has to manage her Twitch popularity. Like it is so like, because I've had a girlfriend who's a Twitch streamer. I'm a Twitch streamer, and like there's so many lines of dialogue that echo so true. Like it is just such a. And I also streamed it, which is like a double layers of meta irony. But then the fact that it takes place in Tokyo, there's the JR subway line. You can go to all my favorite neighbor. Like it is made for otakus, and it was just like, oh my god, this game is perfect. And there's like 20. It's like Nier Automata. There's like 26 endings. So yeah, Needy Streamer Overload's like, oh my god, yeah, it's like one of my. I don't know. It's rare when a new thing enters your like canon of like favorite stuff ever. But for me, I'm like, oh yeah, it scratches like cute anime stuff. It's like satire. It's also Tokyo. And it's like when I was streaming it, like people were upset at the game because it is so like cruel, but it's funny to me. I don't know. Like it's just a dark, mean, fun, fucked up game, and I really like it. And it's cute. And like also there's like now you have generations of girls who are cosplaying it. There's figures everywhere. It's entered the like anime zeitgeist or whatever. And yeah, I don't know. So Needy Streamer Overload was phenomenal, and that was a discovery this year.
I have heard a ton of people talking about that since you were ahead of the curve on this one. I've seen people being very excited for it, and I think the team's working on something new that got announced recently. So there's a lot of hype around that too. So good shout. Is that published by Playism? I feel like it is.
I think so. And then there was also a weird fallout where like they're gonna make an anime adaptation of it, but the original, it's like, oh, not Disco Elysium style, but like I think the original creator, it's like no longer in their hands. So it's like something like that. But then the original, I don't know. Again, it's like Disco's. Now there's like 3 different teams that are making new things based on it. There's like we covered it in the Next Fest demo. There's like a rhythm game based on some of the same people. But yeah, I don't know. It's just I don't know, it's hard. Again, maybe that's worth doing a documentary on. What the hell? Where did this come from?
Hey, you're going back.
What's going on, right?
You got to do it. Also published. It looks like it's self-published by WSS Playground and also by Alliance Arts. So there you go. Very cool. I can't wait for you to play whatever they got coming up next, because I know it'll be exciting for sure. Jeremy, anything for you that sticks out here? There's only one thing I can think of, it's Neon White, and I feel like I've been very vocal about that. That was years ago.
Oh, yeah.
So
no, that's a good answer. For me, it's Ooh. Ooh is like
yeah.
Ooh is like an all-time golden age of Nintendo level experience that came out this year. I recorded a video on Ooh last night for I believe it's a patron thing. It might be public at some point, but in it I make the crucifiable take that I played Super Metroid and Ooh this year.
And Ooh's better?
I think Ooh is not only is better, is a better Metroidvania.
Whoa!
And I can substantiate that claim, but it's a longer sort of hypothesis.
Sounds like a video essay.
Yeah, it doesn't fit in the end of this podcast.
Could you say it in under 5 minutes? Because we have the money for that.
No.
All right. Yeah, Neon White for me. This year, actually, also Sectori.
Oh, yeah.
I went from excited for that game from the demo to this is a disease that I have now, and I love playing it so much. It makes me so happy. I love playing. It's nice to have something I can go back to, and there's no requirement for me to sit down and pay attention. Like, obviously it's a game fully about paying attention and dodging bullets and everything, but like I don't have to prepare to like think about the words or think about it for work or whatever. I can sit down and 15 to 30 minutes will go by and I will have fun the entire time. My heartbeat will be higher than it should be in a healthy state. My blood pressure will be through the roof, but at least I'm having fun, and that's all that matters. Yeah, Sectori, great game. Next email, Frank?
Yeah, Vegas Buffet wrote in, it's been almost 25 years since Magic the Gathering came out. It's hard to fathom a Slay the Spire Balatro world without Richard Garfield's pioneering design and card mechanics. However, he directly led Valve's biggest bomb. How does the crew see Richard Garfield's legacy in retrospect?
Valve's biggest bomb?
I think that's
Artifact.
Artifact was...
He made like a card game, and then that became notorious because on Twitch, people just streamed movies in the Artifact channel.
Oh, it really was.
And like it was a
him.
game that like they like immediately it had like pay to win card mechanics, and they immediately were like, this is just gonna be free to play. What, like they like bailed on the project. But I think you'd still play Artifact. But
That's crazy. I've heard about this, but I didn't know it was the Magic the Gathering guy. That's wild. What a bummer.
Yeah, I lack familiarity with Artifact and with Magic the Gathering. I have played a lot of like deck builders that were inspired by those things, but it is hard for me to assess their relationship to the source material.
Yeah, I wish I knew more about the guy to have a thought on this, at least in general. But I mean, Magic the Gathering, how many card games are as popular as that is 25 years after the fact, right? I mean, not a whole lot. Pokemon has a card game, but that's not what people know Pokemon for. They know it for the anime and the games. Or like Yu-Gi-Oh! People still play Yu-Gi-Oh!, but like, I don't know. If you grew up playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Like I did, you try to watch it now, you need a PhD. There's synchro summoning. They got like extra spots on the board for stuff. I don't know what's going on. Pendulum summon. I can't keep track of that. Magic the Gathering, though, brand wise, it's been really weird seeing them like incorporate all of the like Final Fantasies in Magic the Gathering now. It's the Fortnite of card games.
Yep, they've like super exploded, and like I had a lot of friends like get into it recently. But funny enough, two of my friends who are into it both have like huge salary jobs, so they can afford it. Like one's a doctor, so it's just like he's bragging always like, I just got this $400 card. I'm like, cool, I'm never gonna play this game. I'm never gonna play it.
No.
But even Magic the Gathering's been at like Summer Games Fest. I got like a free Final Fantasy deck, and like, yeah, it's a kind of thing that seems interesting. I like collecting cards. Like I have wrestling cards and stuff like that. So I do have random Magic cards just because I like the art. But like I am too dumb and impatient to learn board games or anything. There is like I think a Magic the Gathering version on Steam, or what my friend was trying to tell me, like you can play a virtual deck and stuff like that. But it's just like, I don't know. It's I don't know. I'm not opposed to it because I have so many friends who like go to events. So there is a social. I get the social aspect of it, but from myself, the only thing like I remember in the 90s, like a kid, like when I was in first or second grade, was like, dude, look at these cards. Like I like that like 90s Todd McFarlane-esque dark fantasy.
Yeah.
Like I like that style. But in terms of just playing it, it's like so out. Like I didn't even know the guy's name, Richard Garfield. It's like, oh, I don't know. But yeah, Magic the Gathering's been a thing. I'm not into it, but I have lots of friends are. But I just feel like I don't know, like math class. I'm just gonna skip. I don't know. I just
Not
just
for
can't
me.
do it. Yeah.
Card games to me have the same thing in my brain as puzzle games, where to enjoy a
Here we
card
go
game,
again.
I need to be tricked into thinking it's not a card game. I don't know why. It's like I need someone to like feed me it while telling me it's something else.
Right.
So like Slay the Spire works for me. because
It tastes like chicken and it's like mushy peas. Like just open up. Come on.
yeah. They blindfold me and they're like, I'm going to feed you some chicken. I'm like, oh, I like chicken. That's how I feel about card games and puzzles for some reason. I like them when I eat them, but I will not put them in my mouth.
That's fair. I feel like Slay the Spire and maybe more specifically Slay the Spire. I feel like every other card game that tries to build off of its framework ends up losing the part of it that is the thing that makes those two pieces go together for you. It's like Slay the Spire. Every round is a puzzle with the cards. All the other ones are like, what if we took the puzzle part away? What if it was like everything has stats, you just get enough upgrades, and eventually it's like, hey, now you don't have to worry about solving the puzzle with the cards that you get. That part of it is fun. Minimizing your damage, maximizing how much you deal, minimizing how much damage you take, maximizing how much you deal is like, that's the challenge of playing Slay the Spire. And I think like Magic the Gathering, not that I've played much of it, but like when I was in early high school, there was a trip we went on. There's this kid who was like super nerdy. I don't know where he is. I hope he's doing well. He's probably like working at a Fortune 500 company and makes 100 times more money than I make. But he was like, you guys want to play Magic the Gathering? And I was the only person who didn't laugh at him. So he knows I'm chill. And we would play Magic the Gathering. And I was like, I don't understand what I'm doing, but you are kicking my ass in one turn. I didn't get to do anything. I got to play no cards. You're having fun. That's the most important thing, is that you're having a good time.
What a guy.
Magic the Gathering's weird, man.
I do want to say one last thing about the like card game that isn't a card game, puzzle game that isn't a puzzle game thing. I think that a lot of this can be in the design outside of the micro level game experience. I think that you can elevate these things purely through framing and context. And I think that the example I would give is that Ooh is a game that is like puzzle rooms mostly. Sometimes the puzzles expand beyond one room or whatever. But because it feels like a continuous platformer Metroidvania world, it doesn't feel like a puzzle game to me. Or like Slay the Spire, because it's like it's like a roguelike, there's like a dungeon map that you're progressing through. It doesn't feel like a card game to me. It feels like a roguelike. So I think you can do a lot of the like removing the, it's like removing the fish smell from seafood, and people are like, oh, I like seafood, but I hate that fishy smell. That's me with like card games. I like card games where it like feels like the cards are integrated into some sort of larger experience, and the cards are just sort of, they're no more or less representative than like characters in a turn-based RPG where you're seeing the characters on screen and they move forward when they swing the sword. It's all kind of just abstracted versions of what's happening in the game logic, but context matters a lot. The context can elevate it.
Yeah, I think those versions of a puzzle game is what ends up being most appealing to people who don't normally play puzzle games. It's like Lorelei and the Laser Eyes worked for a lot of people.
Yes.
Who don't normally play puzzle games, because it's like, this is a weird French art movie that sometimes I have to do a little bit of math to progress in, or like figure out what these symbols mean. Or like Isles of Sea and Sky, one of the best Sokoban games I've ever played, works because it feels like a Zelda game, like a normal traditional Zelda game without combat, instead you are only solving block pushing puzzles. And that stuff, you don't think about it as Sokoban puzzles. You just think I'm playing a Zelda game where I'm moving blocks around to like reach the result of whatever I'm doing. So you're totally right. I think the framework is what makes it more appealing to people, because there is, I think you made a point about this before, which stung me so deeply, about like, nobody just wants to just solve puzzle books. Like, but for whatever reason, if you put a bunch of puzzle books around in a mansion and gave me a gun sometimes, now I'm having fun.
Yes, if you rip every puzzle page out of the puzzle book and you put them in different rooms in the Resident Evil mansion, then that's a fucking cool video game. But if you hand me the puzzle book, I'm like, I just pulled this out of the magazine rack in your bathroom when I was taking a shit.
Right, and there's not even a pencil. How am I supposed to solve this with
my
my
pencil
shit?
In here?
Yeah.
What, am I just gonna read this?
This sucks. I don't have any of the answers. Yeah, I like puzzle games though. I like them. They're fun. One day I'll get you. I'll find one and you'll love it.
I mean, you found many that I liked, so.
True, but one that's just puzzles. I'll make it and I won't even tell you, and then you'll love it.
And I'll be like, this fucking sucks. You'll be just crying.
And I'll
like,
just
I'll
I'll throw myself out of a window. I won't know what to do with myself anymore. This didn't work, Jesse. You're an idiot. We got two more questions here, Frank.
Yeah, Joshua asks, do you think virtual reality game development will explode now that Steam is putting out a likely more affordable device?
No. I would love for that to be the case, but there's no universe where VR pops off. There are problems with making VR work that exist past the price or the general interest in like the games that are on it. Like Half-Life Alyx is still the best VR game of all time, and it's 6 years old now. I'm sure there are other great games on the platform. Like I've played at least a handful of decent games that aren't just like Beat Saber in VR. I bought the Valve Index. I played it for like 200 hours when I got it originally. I played a lot of cool stuff. But for the most part, the problem with the platform is space to use it properly. Like if you're just sitting at your desk and playing a VR game in seated mode, yeah, you could play some cool experiences, but for the most part, it's just like the screen is strapped to my eyeballs. The price for entry on that, even if you get it really low, is still not going to work for most people. The most fun you can have with VR is in a large space dedicated to playing the game. How many people have a spare room just for playing one particular type of video games? Like that's a pretty hard thing to get a hold of. That's on top of having a machine that can play it properly. That's on top of paying for the games. Like it's a whole nother platform that requires a different platform already. It's why it hasn't popped off on PlayStation. It's why Xbox doesn't have one, because they know nobody has an Xbox to begin with. Why the hell we're going to sell a VR headset that no one's going to buy? There's too many barriers to it that I think price or performance or accessibility, getting rid of the wires, like I don't think any of that really solves the problem. Most people who have Meta Quests, what are they? They're playing like Ape Tag or Gorilla Tag. Like they're not buying $50 video games on that thing. And that's what really there needs to be for that platform to reach that sort of quote unquote mainstream success. I feel like is that's what people think anyways when they say that sort of thing. Gorilla Tag isn't enough. That's not good enough, even though a ton of people are playing it. But if you want those like big Half-Life Alyx level experiences, they cost too much money for the amount of people that exist on the platform. So it's all subsidized by either Meta or Gabe Newell's yachts. Like that's your options.
Yeah, agreed. Too much friction. I have a Vive that was Noclip's Vive that Danny let me hang on to once he got the Index, because why would he use the Vive? And I played Alyx and I played like a bunch of other games and it was great. And while I was playing them, I was like, oh my God, this is the future. Like you're caught up in the fervor of it. But as soon as you put it in a box, it's never coming out of that box.
Yeah. Like, do I really want to set all that up? And yeah, not having to set it up does remove that barrier of like, if you could just pick it up and put it on and start playing with the inside out tracking and everything, that does remove a barrier, but it still doesn't solve the problem of, well, now I got to move my furniture out of the way. Now I got to make sure I'm not hitting the TV with my controller. Like, is my computer good enough to render this at 4K twice and then stream it to the fucking thing because it doesn't have any cables? Like, there's still barriers that I feel like even if you get rid of the price one, the other ones are still too big for most people. So
yeah, much in the way that that like Xbox Live Arcade and like the sort of expanded like indie games to new audiences, and then indie games sort of like snowball on that, and then Steam is like a platform where just like ostensibly like normal people who don't like see themselves as like, oh, I play like obscure games, will pick up indie games because they're just there. I think that VR there's not a big enough audience because of the price friction. So there's not enough people making games for it. So there's not enough experimentation. So there's not enough innovation to drive a robust ecosystem of games so that there's not more people getting into it. And yeah, it's just like there needs to be, even if you remove the towers from the equation, there's still like 700 pieces of friction.
Yeah. I think VR will continue to be a fun novelty. Like at arcade places that just have VR or like have a VR booth in them. Those are great. That I could see continue to be a fun thing, but like, I don't know if you could build a whole chunk of an industry around that. Frank, have you done much VR? Do you care much for that at all?
I got the PlayStation VR thing when it came out, and I played it for like got less than a month probably. And then this is before I wore glasses, so it was like it would make me nauseous. I didn't know I had like a astigmatism. I thought about getting a PS5 VR, but it's still maybe like 5 years from now, before PS6 comes out, I'll buy a secondhand clearance one. I still haven't played Half-Life Alyx, so I am interested in the Valve box, whatever the hell it's going to be. I forget, whatever.
Steam machine?
Steam, yeah, whatever.
Oh, the Steam frame, right? Is that?
Yeah, Steam frame. But like, is Half-Life Alyx the only game? Yeah, I feel like I know Resident Evil has VR adaptations. There's like the Luminous and Red stuff, but it's like, yeah, there's not enough software for me to be interested. So I don't know. I really want to get a cheap one day, but I mean, no, I was like, maybe they have super cheap ones in Japan. I don't know.
They do have surprisingly cheap VR headsets. Old XR headsets you can still use in VR. Like XR was their extended reality stuff, so you could like still interface with the world, but have a screen on your face, because that's fun. But they have some version of those that you can use on your Windows machine and still have the experience of using VR. But even then, it's like $150, $200 for like a subpar experience. And again, it's still, do you have a big enough room? You know, all those things that just get in the way of it. Really cool if you can do it. Very, very cool if you can do it. But unfortunately, most people can't. So stick to your flat screen game in there, folks. PS5 is also too much money, actually. I don't know. Just play your Nintendo Switch for as long as you can.
Just get some Magic cards and
have you ever played Magic the Gathering? Did they have Resident Evil yet? They don't. They have Spider-Man though, right?
Yeah, Spider-Man got added. Yeah.
Now it's a real game, much like Fortnite. One more email, Frank.
Yeah, Riven asks, what are your favorite enemy/monster designs in games/movies?
Ooh, that's a good question. I feel like there's a lot of good horror monsters.
Yeah, Resident Evil always comes to mind. Like the Licker is sick, Nemesis is sick.
The new guy in Requiem, I don't know what's going on there. I love it. Looks very cool. Did you watch the trailer? Did you see the trailer? Did you see this? Have you heard about this? No. Very cool. I won't say anything then. Go watch the trailer. I think it's a cool design. Silent Hill also has really great bosses and enemies and stuff. Like I haven't played F, but actually I played a little bit of F. I didn't like it very much. But the characters and the enemies, really cool. And there was that Silent Hill, the Secret Message or something. Silent Message, I don't know. Like a spin-off game they released for free on PlayStation. And they had a boss or enemy design for that was just phenomenal. This like flower-drenched creature. Very cool. Very cool design.
My all-time favorite video game monster design is Silent Hill 4. The Room has a like a crab walking baby monster that it's like fucking terrifying, and it stands still. And you're like, what the fuck is that? And then as soon as you get close enough, it's like go 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 go. And it just starts like crab walking at you. Very scary.
I really like those Cronenberg style creatures from basically anything. Cronenberg has like my favorite. I love the body horror stuff, like even adjacent stuff, right? Like The Thing is great. The Fly, I love the Fly in general. I think that is such a gross looking movie. And Still Wakes the Deep. That that game from a couple years ago from the Chinese Room, or it might have been last year from the Chinese Room. Very, very good monster design in that. I got very creeped out by that one.
Yeah, I didn't particularly like that game, but I thought the monster design was unbelievable.
Yeah, super creepy. Frank, you have any? I'm sure you've got a ton of horror monsters that you like, or non-horror. You don't have to.
Yeah. I mean, like even looking at all the like, I looked to the room and there's like King Ghidorah. Like think of like this year was the year I dove into all the Godzilla stuff. There's is it Hedorah, the like ooze monster that's just made of toxic sludge, and that was released in the 70s to warn people that we shouldn't pollute.
That's awesome.
So I don't know. I love, like, even now I keep watching the Sentai, all the Super Sentai shows, and every monster design is just insane. But like, yeah, the traditional like Showa era Godzilla monster designs are like, honestly, what's Baby Godzilla? Manila is like the dopiest, dumbest looking thing in the world, and I love silly. Him. Yeah. Manila is adorable.
Oh my god, look at him! He's so smooth.
Yeah, Manila is awesome.
I want to rub him. He looks rubbable. Yeah, Godzilla, all that era has really good monsters. Mothra is truly an underrated creature. A giant moth, yeah, they actually are kind of scary, even when they're small. Once you get like real close up. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. There's lots of great monsters out there, but
I mean, like I like a lot of cute monster design. Like I fucking like the cactuars in Final Fantasy are iconic.
Oh, that's so good. And they're designed sort of like you guys have talked Haniwa, right? Frank?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like exactly like the statue. Yeah.
Yeah, and like some of them are not enemies, but just like like Moogles and Chocobos and shit like that. Final Fantasy, and I like what was I can't remember his fucking name. The Secret of Mana guy. Moogle invented Moogles, and they're also in Secret of Mana, so they transcend Final Fantasy.
Yeah, there are a lot of cute creatures like that as well. I just off the head top, it's just I can always think of games, but I can't think of the things in them.
Yeah, specific monsters is tough.
Yeah, especially names. Like the yellow thing from that one game, scary, so creepy. Oh, dude, there's an enemy in Resident Evil Village. Jeremy, you got to play that game. Frank, have you played Village?
Yeah.
The basement.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I fucking hate that thing.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If I did not really love 7, will I like 8?
Probably not.
I feel like 8 is way more action focused.
Yeah.
Okay.
So probably not.
I like slow atmospheric horror. It felt like Resident Evil 7 was a move in the right direction for me, and it still didn't really click with me. So I don't know if I'm gonna love Village.
You probably wouldn't, but you should at least get to that part so you can see it. It was very good.
I think it's like there's 4 sections of the game. So it's like first is like the spooky mansion, the sisters and the big lady. I think it's number 2 is like the unique, like there's no combat. And I think that's the sequence you would like. And then after that, it's whatever. But like I like the first one, but like there's the second sequence that's just like you're exploring and it's like subverts. It's really cool. So you might take that second sequence.
I will play it eventually. I put off playing 7 for a long time because I was afraid I wouldn't like it, and I admire a lot about it. It dips into like I don't know. I don't know. We don't have to get into it here. Someday we'll do a breakdown.
This has been the shortest podcast we've recorded in a while. If you want to kill 20 minutes.
No, because it's like
All right.
it's not. I don't know. It's not fun for me to be like, hey, you know that thing that everyone loves? Let me tell you
hate it.
why I don't like it. Because it's like I don't know. I never want to be the guy who's like, oh, I'm the only one who sees that it's actually not good. Because that's not how I feel.
What are you? You only like Moroccan gent or something. Like get over yourself.
Yeah, you famously hate everything beloved and love everything maligned.
You hipster, you.
No, I respect the fuck out of it. I think it's very cool. This is my one line on it that isn't like shitting on it. There's a type of, to me, horror kind of like bifurcated at some point, and there's like weird like Ari Aster horror, and to me that's like Silent Hill, even though it has schlock elements, and then like Resident Evil sometimes feels like it's in both worlds. Sometimes it feels like Silent Hill, and sometimes it feels like a Saw movie. And I like it less when it's like we're at the table and we're eating maggots. To me, it's like I guess I'm like easily grossed out, and it's like it doesn't scare me. I'm just kind of like, all right, yeah. I mean, I guess they eat maggots and they're like gross people. But I did really like the design of 7 being so focused and sort of like intimate, and you're just like moving around the house, and there's like it's not like a million zombies being thrown at you, although there are parts where I feel like there's a few two enemies being thrown at me, but largely I felt like the atmosphere was very concentrated and focused. It was just a particular flavor of concentrated horror that didn't click for me. But it wasn't that I thought it was bad. I think it's really cool, and like I admire them for taking a beloved franchise that like Resident Evil 6 is so different from 7, and to see them steer it back in a direction that is legitimately like innovative and cool, I respect the fuck out of it.
Yeah, fair. I
saw like gross bugs.
Yeah,
no,
gross bugs.
It just didn't click for me. It was a little too like the intro of what's it called? The Evil Within is kind of the same for me.
Yeah.
Where I was like, oh wow, this seems like really cool. This is like a Resident Evil spiritual successor. And then they're like, what if you were in like an asylum and there was like a guy who's like chopping people up? And I'm like, that's not scary to me. That's just like
The Evil
nasty.
Within 2 is a lot better.
I'll play it eventually.
Yeah. All right. We'll put it on the list of stuff you'll play eventually.
Put it on the list of games I'll tell everyone I'll play it.
Oh, sometimes you get like 3 recommendations in a row from like random people, and you'll be like, "Yeah, I'll check that out." I'm like, "He's fucking never gonna check that out.
I'm never playing that.
He's
Put
never
that on
gonna
the
play
list.
that game."
It's like someone hands you a flyer, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna check this out," and then you walk around the corner and throw it in a
immediately-
trash can.
Sometimes I don't even like wait for them to walk away. I'm like, "Oh yeah, cool, man." All right.
No, I do want to play The Evil Within 2. There's not enough. I would need like a hyperbaric time chamber to play all these games. If I had infinite time, I would play every game. even
Yeah.
if I hated it.
I feel like my Steam library and everything else that I own video game wise is just like in this big mental closet labeled, one day I'll get really sick, but not deathly so. And that's that. I'm just waiting for that day to come. I can't wait to be sick. You know?
Or be like, so if I was so rich that it didn't matter, then I would play a lot of these games.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm playing a game and I'm like, I need to like work on my game, or like I need to like make dinner.
That's got to be a particular struggle. Not the dinner part. Everyone has to do that. But like the playing video games and making video games is such a different, like playing video games is fun, but making video games is playing video games, and also you can do whatever you want. It's like a lucid dream version of making video or playing video
It's
games.
like a lucid dream.
It
That's
is.
very
It's like
funny.
you're playing a video game and you can just be like, I want Abraham Lincoln here. And then there you go. Abraham Lincoln's there.
Sometimes it's the least fun thing ever, but
Yeah.
usually it's like the most fun thing ever.
And when it sucks, it's just because you made the coolest thing ever yesterday and now you have to make it work properly.
Yeah, usually it sucks because it's like now I have to do UI.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh, don't get me started. You're in Unity, right? Are you still?
Yeah.
We don't have to program talk here. We can just. It's fine.
No, yeah, no, I still use Unity. Usually when people ask me, "Are you still in Unity?" It's because they're about to tell me why Unity is bad. So
Oh, right,
I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like in a defensive posture.
Yeah, you went
as soon
full.
as
I
anyone
saw you
asks.
go like turtle into the shell mode there for a second. You're like, shut your goddamn mouth.
Because it's
fine.
usually followed by, "Why haven't you switched to Godot yet?" And it's like,
And your answer would be because I like using a programming language. that's not Python.
it's what I'm comfortable. I don't know. It's a tool that works for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
If
totally
my-
fair.
I don't know. I don't approve of them as a company, but like, I like my tools.
Yeah, the UI stuff I find frustrating though in Unity.
Oh yeah, more than other
More than Godot.
engines? Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
All right.
Godot's like it's the same structure that you would use for the rest of making stuff in Godot, so that the UI is basically just how you would make like characters or anything.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So you
It's
hate
like-
fucking
it's like
you hate
loosely
graphic
typed.
raycasters.
So, sorry.
Never mind. There's a different type of raycasting for UI in Unity. I thought that's what you were referring to.
Oh no, but I don't know. I just didn't like the way that that everything's written in Unity's UI system. Maybe it's changed since I tried it. That was like 6 years ago. So I don't know. Whatever. As long as you're having fun making games, it's all that matters. Who cares?
As David Lynch so famously said, rest in peace. I hope you're all having a lot of fun working on your little projects or whatever the fuck he said.
That's right. Rest in peace to the genius himself, David Lynch. And rest in peace to this episode of the podcast. My throat is killing me. I've been talking to these two lovely people for many hours now. I need to drink more water. But we're only able to afford water because of you guys over at patreon.com/noclip. You give us all that lovely money that we can use in exchange for goods and services and all of the other stuff they do with our lives, including buying gifts for our loved ones this holiday season, which I hope you are also remembering to do, because when this podcast launches, you have roughly 6 days before Christmas and then a bunch of other holidays as well, whose starts I do not know. I apologize. But I hope you are enjoying your holiday season. Like I said, this is the last normal current events podcast that we'll be recording for the rest of the year. We do have other stuff dropping in the next couple of weeks. Again, assuming nothing changes between this recording and the next episode that you listen to. So assuming everything goes this way, this is the last current affairs one you'll listen to. We will have another one launching the week of Christmas and another the week after that for New Year's. The New Year's one will be us talking about all of the games we're excited for the new year. So hopefully you'll check that one out and learn about something that you didn't already know about. I know everyone on the team has tons of great stuff, at least in the first half of the year, that like has a concrete-ish launch date that we're all pretty excited for. I'm excited to hear what the rest of the guys have to say, though. I know, Frank, you've got a lot of cool things that you've been looking forward to that I have never heard of, which is my favorite part of listening to you talk about your exciting Japanese video games, indie games, stuff like that. And then Jeremy, I mean, there's tons of indie stuff that you know of that me, the guy who checks Steam every single day, has never seen before. So that's what I love about this team, is we all have such unique interests and we get to bring them to you, the audience, here on the Noclip Crewcast. So hopefully you'll look forward to another... How many weeks are there in a year? 52 episodes of the Noclip Crewcast next year. We'll be at episode 200 or 300 before the year's out. That'll be pretty exciting. I can't wait to see what we do there. We'll rank 300 video games.
And Jesse and I recorded a very, very ridiculous podcast earlier today.
Yes.
That is for patrons only. Where we can we say what it is? Are we
Yeah,
allowed to
why
say
not?
that?
Well, you know what? No, don't say what it is, because I don't know. I don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's
It's
gonna.
good.
You'll like it. It's a J-Boys takeover.
I think it is one of the best podcasts we've ever recorded in
I think so, too.
258 episodes. It's really good. It's really fun. So if you can check it out, Patreon.
Nerdcap.
It's a goodie. It's a goodie. We'll catch you next time. We'll catch you next year. See you next year, loser. I haven't showered since last year. You dorks. Don't you love that stupid joke? I don't know. Whatever. I'm so tired. I'll see you guys next time. I'll see you guys soon-ish later in the week. But I'll see you, listeners, next year in 2026 when things will be better. All right, bye. Hope Danny's doing well still. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.